Hi, Prithvi. It's glad to start the session. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining today's svtechsoft Salesforce Vlocity Online training. Okay, our trainer is Prithvi. Okay.
Hi guys.
He will
Hi.
take over the control, then he start the session.
Yeah, sure. Give me just 10 seconds. I'm just opening the PPT. And Kishore, can you give me the share access?
We already did, Prithvi. Okay, now you can share your screen.
Okay, yes, I can share my screen. Guys, everyone, can you see my screen and my voice is audible? Is there any issues? You can just let me know.
Yes, we can. At least I can.
Okay. Okay then. Okay then, guys, let's start this session. So, good evening to everyone. Like my name is Prithvi. I have 7 years of experience in Salesforce and Vlocity. And today I'll be giving you the Vlocity demo session. And after this, like I'll be your Vlocity trainer for all the Vlocity training sessions. Okay. So before going into like to know what is exactly what Vlocity is and all. So I hope everyone who has joined this session is aware of like how to know the Salesforce configurations and Salesforce admin part, because that is a mandatory skill. So I think it is not tough to learn the Salesforce configuration. You can again contact Kishore. He's also providing some Salesforce real-time training sessions on admin and development part. But for learning Vlocity, you just need to have a basic thing is you should have the Salesforce admin certified, and it's not a mandatory, but if you understand the Salesforce configuration, it will be easy to work across the various tabs or records in the Salesforce org. Okay, so yeah, let's talk about Vlocity. Okay, let me. My screen is stuck. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. So I had some issues. Okay. So what is Vlocity? So if you talk in technical terms, Vlocity is nothing but a managed package. You know, right? You have seen many managed packages like in Salesforce App Exchange. We not only in Salesforce App Exchange, you get this managed package as different Salesforce instances you can install as a managed package. Like you cannot, this managed package is something you cannot expose. This is not exposed. So Vlocity comes as a managed package in our Salesforce or like other managed packages. So here, what exactly is Vlocity? So Vlocity is nothing but it is a fastest growing app exchange solution, which is giving a built-in process, business process flows, and it is giving across the different. I'll be showing you the different industries which will be covered in our today's demo session. And what exactly Vlocity provides? So Vlocity also provides, like it supports various process libraries. Like if you can use various process libraries like Java, JavaScript, and Angular JS and other technologies you can use inside Vlocity. Okay, so the other feature of Vlocity is nothing but it is in a simpler words you can say something. It is a code-free, dynamic, and gives you a responsive solution. So it is a very minimal code. With a very minimal code, you don't need to actually write any code for this Vlocity. Most of the part would be drag and drop. But you know, right, for few scenarios you have to write some logics. So those logics are nothing but as a low code. You call something as low code process tool. So this is basically is Vlocity. Okay. So you can see many companies which has actually adopted Vlocity, how they are actually training these users. They are actually making Salesforce developers to learn Vlocity and get certified in Vlocity to actually provide a customer-centric solution. and provide an industry specific solution to all the customers. So the main motto of the Velocity projects is nothing but giving a dynamic customer centric solution and across the various industries. Okay, let's go deeper into Velocity, like how exactly it is used in Salesforce. Okay. Yeah. So today, in our today's agenda, I will be talking about what's Velocity and how it works. And I will be showing you the different industry clouds in Velocity. And the third agenda would be something advantages of using Velocity. And we'll see the different components. What are the built-in components which is given by Velocity to us? Okay. And the later part, I'll be showing you the success community. It is nothing but kind of a help center. And also there is some Velocity University. It is nothing but how you see in our Salesforce trailhead. We will be completing some tasks and modules. So similarly, you do that in Velocity University. Okay, these are the things which will be covered in today's demo session, guys. Okay, let's talk. Okay, so there are various services in Salesforce. Like you can see SaaS, IaaS, and PaaS. Let's talk about IaaS. IaaS is nothing but it is a top layer. It is a top layer which provides an infrastructure to us. Okay. Example. So example is nothing but you can see here. It comprises of storage, or servers, or network. So this is one of the services in Salesforce. And if you see PaaS, here it comes. The Velocity comes into the PaaS section. Okay. PaaS is nothing but a layer above IaaS. Okay, it provides a platform which uses Salesforce and it provides a platform to the to a developer to show the to develop an application. Okay, so examples you can see there is not only Velocity, there is Viva and Tableau. Viva is nothing but it is a pharmaceutical application which is only available in iOS applications. I think it is available in mobile and iPads. And Tableau is another reporting tool. You get it. So here we now in this session we are talking about Velocity. So Velocity, it is actually built on Salesforce and provides a feature to a customer to actually navigate across the application, and it is very easy to access this Velocity in the web. Okay. And the last service is nothing but SaaS. So in SaaS is nothing but there is no installation or maintaining a software. It is just delivering applications end to end over the internet. Okay, it just delivers the applications over the internet. Is nothing but SaaS. Okay, let's see the various industries which are there in Velocity. So guys, just give some more focus on this. So these are the different industries. So in the current scenario, in the current market, if you see the most of the projects comprises of communications and it comprises of insurances. So if you work in any MNC or if you work any of the bigger companies, you see the most projects are related to insurance and communication. Because why? Because the most businesses happen in communications and insurances. But Velocity has provided various industries like communications, media and entertainment, and energy and utilities, and insurances, health, and government. So across each industry, so we have to request the Velocity team to install the specific Velocity package into our Salesforce. Okay, guys. So in our training sessions, I'll be covering more of communications and insurances because, as I said, these are the most projects which are actually working. If there are current projects or if there are new projects that are actually starting in insurance and communications. Okay, but there are still applications who are using health and utilities as well. But as I said, like these communications and insurance are the most. Okay, so these are the different industry clouds which are available in
Hi, Prithvi.
Yeah.
Prithvi, sorry to interrupt. So what would be the difference between these industries? Like any features will be specific or?
Yeah, there will be specific features. If you see in communications, we get some, I'll show you in the further slides. I have prepared one of the slides for communications.
Okay.
But if you see for insurances, there are different objects which are involved. If you see for communications, there are some different objects. Obviously, if you see the difference in categorize, there will be different, like if you see, if you talk about FSL. So in FSL, if you install an FSL package, so what would be the objects? It would be something called work orders, or it will be some work types. These are objects which are coming from using the FSL field service lighting package. So that is totally different from Vlocity, but I'm just telling you how the different lies. So in communications, you can see more of related to orders and order line items. So these order line items are standard objects, but in communications, it plays a key role. And you can see something products and product list, like you see, you know about price book and price book entries in Salesforce. Similarly, we have some predefined objects for CPQ projects for in communications, where it is price list entry, and there is other few objects as well. I'll let you know later. But as I said, there are some few custom objects which are created by Vlocity, and it gets installed in our Salesforce. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah. So if you see, these are the customers. So this slide is nothing but they talk about the customers of who are actually using Vlocity. So if you see, Verizon in CMT, in communications, is the major client, which Verizon is having major projects in using Vlocity. And Verizon has its some subsidiary companies as well. Like if you, I can tell you, like something called Visible, it is using Vlocity. So let me just show you that Visible. Okay, so this is one of the telecom company which is actually selling its mobile and with a SIM card. But you can see here, this UI is not actually provided by Vlocity, but whatever you click on this, for example, if you just click on this, so whatever you click a button, the button action is actually calling the Vlocity components. In each Vlocity components, it is making a call out to a different API, and it is actually showing. Okay, I'm not able to see some plans. Okay, if I see some plans, or if I shop some phones, if I shop some mobiles, so this particular company is actually using Vlocity for only the backend purpose. But Vlocity also provides the front end feature as well. I'll show you what are the components which actually we can build using Vlocity, the front end and the back end. But to give a clear idea, it's not only the front end, but more you can also use Vlocity for the back end purposes. Okay. Okay, let's go to the slide. Okay, yeah. In communications, you can see after Verizon, it is something Rogers Communications. It is in Canada. So I'm just giving you these examples because you may go to some projects which are already there, and so you'll just get an idea. Okay, what is this? So tell us it's something. It is actually selling an fiber net to across the Canadian provinces, and yeah, MN Telecom is something Singapore. And here you can see in insurances, the major client is Anthem. So Anthem is the first project in one of the MNC which has used Vlocity, and it has been the successful project for a Vlocity team. And it is actually giving just providing a broker portal where it will be selling the insurance packages to the customers. It's just a simple thing there, but right, there will be different flows for each of the industry. Like if you see for telecom, so what would be the flow? So the flow would be always the same in all the technologies, but the implementation in Vlocity is something we have to we have to show some focus on it. Okay, so what exactly it does? So it will usually when you are actually selling any product, so what do? You see something, a user is an existing or a new customer. So once the user is an existing customer, you show the previous orders for already there for him. So if it is a new customer, what do? You ask him to sign in or sign up. You ask him to sign up. After sign up, you show all the products, and the user will be able to add the products. So it is not every time the customer will go and purchase the item. Sometimes he can just call to the customer team, and agent will do all this for them. So in Anthem scenario, we can see something, a broker will have the access of Vlocity application. He will be getting some requests using an email, or it can be through phone call, and he'll be he will be providing all the for example, he will be purchasing any of the plan, if any of the insurance package. So at the end of the flow, he'll be generating a code. So we will be providing him a button action where he can generate the order summary in the sense, now in the code summary in a PDF. That PDF can be directly sent to the, if you just provide the email address, we can just send it to the customer. So customer, if he is happy, then he'll be able to purchase the, he will actually make an order for the particular insurance package. Okay, so for now you can just see these are the customers across the industries. For energy and utilities, these are the some of the customers where we have identified and just applied in this PPT. Okay, let's talk about advantages of using Vlocity. So you know, right, in Salesforce we have different modules, data modules, like there is Service Cloud, Sales Cloud. So it is a strong data model which is provided by Salesforce. Similarly, Vlocity, as I told you, it is an industry specific tool. It is using one of our Salesforce strong data model, and it is extending the Salesforce data model, and it is providing the industry specific data model. If we actually, so right, this product or if this quote or quote line items, so all this quote or quote line items, these particular objects are actually used in insurance package. In insurance package, most of the insurance packages, if you see, you access the use all this quote and quote line item objects to actually identify if any product is actually purchased. So each quote line item would be created for under a quote. Okay, so similarly, for if you see the order line items are nothing but in Salesforce it is something order products. If you see the label wise, if you see, it will be something order products. So that will be used in communication module. Okay, so that is a first advantage which actually Vlocity is providing. So it is easy for customer to decide which industry specific package should be installed in a Salesforce org. Okay, the second advantage, so it is a faster development of pages. So let's talk about, you are aware of this Lightning Web Components and Lightning Components. To develop a different guided screens. So what is exactly a guided screen? Guided screen are nothing but, for example, you are signing up for some of any online portal. What do? You give your personal details. The next would be your address. The next would be your some other personal info. At the final stage, they will ask you, okay, they will display some terms and conditions. So all these pages, if you imagine developing in a Lightning component, how complex it would be for a developer. And also, if it is if someone who is a Salesforce admin, he'll never know, he'll be just clueless to actually develop all this. But using Vlocity, he can only use the drag and drop feature, and to complete within few days, it can be completed within few hours. The same pages can be developed within few hours, and it can be delivered. Okay, that is one of the another advantage of using Vlocity. So this particular feature can be used, can be developed using the Vlocity components. I'll be telling you which components would be used for developing this. Okay, so third advantage is something it is saying, this developing complex logics and functionalities. And so functionalities wise, there is something called okay, I'll discuss the later about this order management or something. Okay, this developing complex logics. So as I just given an example to you, for example, there is a search feature, and you take this example called for example, you are having a port Amazon. Everyone know this Amazon. So in Amazon, you can go and add different products. Let's say you're adding this product. So imagine this products, if you want to, so whenever you click on this show all products, all the products are visible, and you can just click on this one of the, this is not a product, this is a category. Okay, let's take another product. Something electronics. Yeah, okay, something you select, these are your products. Okay, so you want to add any product to your order. Okay, So imagine there is something, okay, here there is, okay, you just add a product to your cart. Okay, it's not every customer will add these products, but he'll not make an order, you know, right? You'll just add products into, and sometimes see, for now I have not logged in as well. So I'm just using the simple browser. I'm adding the items into the cart. At the final stage, you have to, if I just click on proceed to buy, they will ask for something called sign in. I'm sorry, guys. So in this stage, you have to identify that. So if you want to implement similar thing in Salesforce using Vlocity, so every time when a product is actually added to a cart, it'll like a order record would be created, and you can see something. These products are nothing but it is products which are actually configured in our Salesforce, and whenever we add each product, it is nothing but order line items. Under an order are nothing but order line items. So every time these records should be getting created. But what is our requirement? We have to only create these records under specific criteria, like if he's actually getting sign up, or if he's actually an existing user. Because if an existing user, he would obviously make an order once today or tomorrow, any other day he will make an order. If it is not a customer, so we have to not actually load these records into Salesforce, because we will be getting a storage issue if all the customers would use the same. This is something Amazon. If you take, for example, this visible, if any user will go here and click on in a mobile and click on this, add this mobile into the cart, every time if this, he'll be making this order capture flow, what happens? This record should be simply get created. Okay, some notification. Okay, so that is something actually in Vlocity we can make an complex logic where we can put a condition. On conditional basis, we can actually restrict the system to actually not to load these records unnecessarily. Okay, this is one of the major advantages. So there are many conditional views where we can implement in each of the Vlocity components. I'll be discussing in further training sessions how to use this conditional based view in each of the components. Either it might be front end or it can be a back end. So the fourth advantage is nothing but integrating with other systems is very easy. So how it is, I'll tell you. See, imagine if you are doing in Salesforce, what do? You go with the REST API and you write all your REST API code in your Apex classes, right? So here you don't need to write any code here. There is a separate action which is provided in couple of components. One is integration procedure. I'll tell you what is integration procedure. Just remember the names. And the other one is data raptors. Not data raptors, it is Omniscope. You will get an action called HTTP action. In that action, you can particularly drag that action and provide the end URL and give your authentication or token ID, whatever it is. You can just give in the various available elements. In that, you can just provide all your authentication codes or whatever it is. So once the flow is coming, when the flow is started, when it comes to that particular action, it will run and it will give the response. So, and again, there are various options where you can run in a single transaction, or you can run in a multiple transactions. Okay, there's something called in Salesforce we have future, right? Similarly, we have some future options in using this integrations in our Vlocity. Okay, so the last advantage is nothing but I suggest everyone to have a just basic understanding of JSON, because all the components which actually get processed is used in the format of JSON format. So for example, if you are making a flow, you want to see the data what is actually given by the user, or you want to know how this data is getting processed. So it will be provided in the debug modes which are given by Vlocity. If you just debug it, it will give the output in the form of JSON. So you have to understand what is exactly JSON. So JSON is nothing but it's just a key value you should know, and also it is in the form of an whenever you just debug a object level in Salesforce in Apex, how it shows. Similarly, it is in a curly flower bracket. It just you should have a basic idea. I'll be showing you in the later sessions how it is JSON and all, how we can use it. Okay, so let's go to yeah, next slide. So this slide is nothing but it gives the out of the box features. So Vlocity. So this particular slide, whatever features I'm showing here, it's nothing but it is giving for communication package. Okay, this order capture and this order management, EPC, Velocity CPQ, all these features are one of the features which comes under communications. Okay, so let's see what is order capture. So order capture is nothing but I just discussed before. Until this order is actually placed, you have to capture all the data. So how this all the data would get processed? So the initial stages, so it would be something called you have so each order will have something called accounts. So we use the Salesforce objects, accounts. So accounts acts as an institution, or it can be something, a location in any Velocity project. Okay, so for example, in one of the project, accounts are used in the form of addresses. In Canada, there will be some various addresses, and in some particular addresses, it will be the form of address will be saved in the account object. Then there is something you have to capture the contact data, where you have to actually link to the particular. So this order is something you have to link it. So you have to see it is an existing contact or existing customer, or it is a new customer. So you would be giving a search option to an agent, where if the for example the contact which the customer which is giving the details is present in our system or not. So we have to develop it. The second flow would be something and where the customer is present or not. If not present, we will be giving him the a new contact creation button, where he'll be creating a contact, and this contact would be used in across the application, across the flow otherwise. Okay, the next feature would be something we would be showing him some products. So till now what you have seen, we have seen various screens, or you can see various components of this order capture. So all this comprises of something called order capture until it gets submitted. So I just showed you an example where in Amazon you will be browsing different products, and at the end you will be adding into the cart, and you will be going into the final screen. That final screen, till that screen, you call that feature as order capture. So here order capture in communications, you would be getting this order capture whenever you actually you are about to submit an order. There would be different attributes present for each order object. This would actually make the another process to trigger. So the another process is nothing but it is where it comprises of order management. So in order management, we see something order. This is something orchestration and decomposition. These are the some features provided by Vlocity. So in simpler words, what is order management is nothing but in Vlocity, it manages the if an order is submitted, it manages the orders actually being delivered to the customer, and it has been activated. So in simpler words, in a single sentence, you can understand that order management in Vlocity in communications, in Vlocity communication module is nothing but where an order is submitted. For example, a product. So in our scenario, we will be submitting an order with a mobile phone with a SIM card. So what should happen? This mobile phone should get delivered to the customer, and then the customer would actually send in some notification or something that he would be switching on his mobile. Then we would get some notification, and we should activate his SIM card on his approval. So these all things would be happening in order management. Okay, so the other feature. So other feature is nothing. The other couple of features you see is nothing but EPC and Velocity CPQ. So Velocity CPQ is something different from CPQ, which is more simpler when you see with Salesforce CPQ. In Velocity CPQ, we will be actually configuring the products. We will be giving the different pricing and all. I will be showing in our training sessions how this Velocity CPQ is actually configured and what are the objects are involved here. And similar to Salesforce CPQ, it is also the same, but it's not that complex. It is more simpler then Salesforce CPQ. And EPC is nothing but you actually get this product attributes. So for each product attributes and promotions, all this comes under EPC. So for example, you are buying a product. Imagine you are buying some, for example, you go to Amazon and you buy a mobile phone. With the mobile phone, you see some extra products just below that, saying that if you can purchase these products, or you can say something, say a screen guard, or it can be a phone case with this particular product. So these all things are actually configured in EPC in Vlocity. So you will get a detailing of all these concepts once our training starts, and once we learn what's the Vlocity so you don't need to worry about all this. So this training actually comprising, you have to learn what actually is Vlocity, how to use this Vlocity components. So in the further slides, I'll be discussing what are the components present. So after that, then you would come to the specific industry specific module. So I would be giving you the basics of communication industries, what are the features which are there, and yeah. Okay, so there are other features you call something called card-based APIs, and there is this is something industry specific data model. So card-based APIs. I'll just show you few of the APIs. What are those? Okay, so as I told you, you would be getting an access to, if you work in any Vlocity project or with this training session, you would be getting this success community, which is nothing kind of an help center to search about some of the solutions and how to build in Vlocity and all. Okay, so here something these are nothing but card-based APIs. So you would be getting all the APIs from Vlocity. So it is nothing but when you use this particular API, so this is what it actually defines. It is nothing but so on click of a button, you will be showing some products in particular screen. So when a user or agent would actually click a button, so that time it would make a call out. It would get all the, so what we need whenever we are adding an item in the sense adding a product to our particular order. So what I told, whenever a product is actually added to an order, record, it will change it to the order line item. So what would happen? So whenever we click on this, we get the whole JSON with all the product details, what the product exactly considers. So the product has the pricing, the other features, and the product code, all this. So you would get in a JSON format the response. With that particular response, you can create the order line item record. But usually how you do in Salesforce, whenever you want this, you have to query a particular product using a SQL query, and you get the particular product, and also you have to query all the fields of a particular product from the product to object. The similar feature which is giving using an API. If you just call this API, you would get all the details of a particular product in a format of JSON. So using the JSON, we have to actually insert the order line item. Okay, guys, no need to get confused about this APIs and all. So slowly you would understand how this APIs would be used and all. But for now, you have to understand how to actually, initially you have to understand how to navigate across the components and how to build the components. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So these are the main components which actually we use to develop the front end and the back end. So in the left side of the column, if you see, it is nothing but interaction tools. In the interaction tools, you see something Omniscripts, cards, and flexi cards, and templates. So before going to Omniscripts and cards, I will be discussing something about templates. So templates. So templates are nothing but it is something, it has 3 components inside it. We have to have good knowledge of HTML, and also we should have a good knowledge of JavaScript and AngularJS. So don't worry about these templates. Most of the projects would be actually hiring some of the Angular developers or any UI developers for this particular, for any project, or they would be giving these templates to you. You have to just include in your basic components or in any of your cards. Okay, so let's talk about Omniscripts. So I will be showing you one of the Omniscript, how it is actually there. So you have to just go to the, so in your Salesforce, or you have to just go to this all apps button, and you have to click something called Omniscope Designer tab. So Omniscope Designer is also an object which is actually given by which is provided by Vlocity. So the Omniscope Designer page is nothing but a Visual Force page. In the backend, it is nothing but a Visual Force page. So here, what is it? So you will be getting some few available components in the particular Omniscope. So the first one is something actions. In the actions, if you just expand it, you see different actions here. So one is you can see something calculation action. So I'll be telling you a couple of actions. What are the, so here you can see something email action. Using this email action, you can actually send an email. So here in the previous, I have told something about HTTP action. HTTP action is nothing but you make a call out. Okay, these are the some of the actions. These are the various actions which are provided by Vlocity. To you need to just drag and drop. So this is an existing project. So I just want to show you what is Omniscripts, but we cannot do any kind of action here. But why I'm showing you this, because so there is a project which is a Singapore project called M1. Okay. Okay, this is on maintenance. Let me try last time. Yeah. Okay, I cannot show you this. Right now it is under maintenance. So it is nothing but similar. I have shown you in visible how it is actually, we can pick the different different mobile phones and its mobile numbers. So similarly, this is the screens which are developed in the Omniscript by just dragging and dropping the various elements provided from our properties. Okay, so here what it's actually giving, it is initially making a call out and showing different mobile numbers. So what exactly it is happening here is something, it is picking a, like agent will be actually picking a mobile number, and he would be actually see, how do you want to receive your SIM card? These are the questions you actually put in your display elements, and you would ask the address from the customer, and you are actually capturing all the details from the customer, and you are actually selecting a mobile number. So this is one of the this is one of the functionality which is developed for actually picking a new number and providing it to and delivering this particular SIM card to the customer's available address. So for that, they have developed, they have dragged different elements from the available components. So as I told you, for any HTTP action, so how this number mobile numbers would get. So mobile numbers is something, it is a it would be actually changing every time. So it is something, a HTTP action where they might have used, and they would be getting different available numbers. Okay. So here there is some data after extract and data after post action. Just remember these terms. I will discuss in after couple of minutes what are these exact actions are. Okay, so the other components are something called display. As I told you, you have just seen a display, how which address should be this particular SIM card delivered or something like that. You can use some text block. Inside the text block, you have to just place the text, and this text would actually show. You can also show and put different format and bold, or you can put a coloring for that. And a headline is nothing but you in any UI screen, you want to provide any headline, it is something called headline. So line break is something that, it is just giving a space between each lines. Okay, the other component, something called functions and groups and inputs. Okay, so these are the functions where you actually can use formulas, and there is aggregate function. Okay, and understand, guys, I'm just giving you the highlights, because in this demo session you should understand like how this, using this available components, we can actually build a UI page with a backend feature as well. It's not an UI, it's also, we can use inside an Omniscript, we can use the backend actions. So backend actions are nothing but you can call it as a HTTP action, or it can call it as a data after extract or a data after post actions. Okay, so yeah, these are the different actions which are actually available in an Omniscript. So Omniscript is one of the main tool in Vlocity. Okay, guys, let's go to this next slide. Okay, see, Yeah, this is the same screenshot is present in the right side. You can see here. So Omniscripts, it is nothing but Omniscript. The definition wise, you can say it is something interactive guided path to complete a business process. So from the starting path, from the starting step to the last step, it can be in various screens. You will be giving some next button and previous button for each screen. You just click on next, and in the final page, you can just display something called submit or save this flow or submit this flow. Or submit this form or any so it can be used in the form of an UI form as well. You see some Google Docs, right? In this Google Docs, you can actually using the same way how this Google Docs is developed. You can actually drag different elements, like you can there are various data types actually supported by Vlocity. All this pick list, you call it a select here. All these elements you have to just drag and drop. You don't need to write any kind of code. The only code you would write is something you add some conditional based sections in page layouts or in any dynamic page, in any UI page. You see different sections should be displayed based on the options which you select, right? Similarly, you have to provide the conditional view here. You have to write some small logics here. Okay, as I said, this is nothing but drag and drop. No code for building the structure, the UI flow. Okay, the fourth point, you can just see, guys, templates can be used as an additional customization required. So I told you already about templates. Templates are nothing but it is an UI tool where it comprises of 3 tabs inside it, where it is, I'll show you in the further slide, in the further in some time, but I'm just telling you, you will have the component level in Lightning component, how you build the component level, the HTML code, and then the JavaScript tab, you have to write the control. It is nothing but a controller. You write all your JavaScript and Angular code over there, and also you get the CSS tab where you just provide some styling to it. Okay, so this is all about Omniscript, guys. So Omniscript is nothing but it is a low code process tool. You can, in singular words, you can tell something low code process tool, where it provides a guided path to complete a business process. Okay, okay, before going to, okay, I'll just show you. This is basically the structure of an Omniscript. You can actually collapse or expand it. So each step is nothing but each screen step inside an Omniscript is nothing but a screen. So I will be giving you the detailing of each and every element, and I'll be discussing you. I'll be showing you one of the one of the process we'll create in our training sessions, and you'll understand how we can actually use Vlocity Omniscripts and show the guided flow in our Salesforce org. Okay. Yeah. So the other data, so we'll discuss about data tools as well. So everything, guys, you have to just go to the all tabs, and you have to so here, this is something Vlocity Data Raptor Designer. So data raptors are nothing but you get 3 types of data raptors inside it when you just create it. So it's nothing but data raptors. You in the extract data raptor action, I've told you, it's nothing but it will make a like a similar in SQL query. What we do, we actually we write a code like select ID comma name from the account object. Similarly, we have to actually, for example, I'll just open this particular data raptor. So here we have to include some of the whichever objects we want here. So here something different object is there. It is a Vlocity object. We have to define the object name here, give the filter, and you have to just give the outputs. So outputs are nothing but from the from the object we actually configure we have the fields, right? We have to map to a path. So this path would something you can see in the right hand side, it would be displaying in the form of a JSON. So the data would be coming in the right hand side. This is nothing but an API name, which you actually you can call it as an API or a JSON path, where you have defined in the output JSON path section. So you'll get a detailing of each of the components. But remember, if you just preview, let me execute. Maybe it will take some time, but more, yeah, you can see something. It would make a SQL query. You can see something select ID comma some fields which are actually defined here from velocity this object and where this is something. So similarly, in data raptors, you get something post as well. Post is nothing but, so in the actions you can see something post action is nothing but you load. So it performs the DML actions. Okay, all the it performs all the load and upsert and update, all this using the data raptor post action. So for transform and all I'll discuss in our training sessions. But understand, data raptors are nothing but a backend. It is a data tool which is used in an Omniscript, which will be having it has different actions where you can actually extract any object or load any data into a particular object in Salesforce. For that purpose, we use this data raptors. Okay, guys. Okay, let's go to, yeah. So these are the data tools, guys. In the data tools, you, as I told you, data raptor extract and data raptor load and data raptor transform. So transform is nothing but you just transform the data from one form to another form. So that is not a big thing actually. You have to more concentrate on extract and load. So that is where you the data raptor will actually come into picture. Most of the time we use extract and load data raptors. Okay, so the other one is integration procedures. So integration procedures are nothing but it is kind of a best practice to actually use this integration procedures in our Vlocity application, because in using integration procedure is nothing but it can provide you different features. So as I told you in just before, we get an option called future. So future, what do we do with this future method in Salesforce Apex? It is nothing, it will run in its own transaction, it will not wait, right? So in asynchronous mode, it will run. So in a simpler words, you can say something asynchronous mode. So similarly, using integration procedures, if any HTTP action is actually taking some longer time or something, we can use this checkbox and make this. So these all which will actually bypass the government limits which is given, which is provided in Salesforce. So imagine there are different data raptor extracts. So data raptor extracts are nothing but using different SOQL queries in right, different SOQL queries. We have a limitation for using the SOQL queries. But if you use multiple data raptor extracts in an integration procedure, it will make a single caller to the database, and it will happen all the whatever objects we are actually querying, all the SOQL callers will happen in a single transaction. So that is a best practice. Always you have to use the integration procedure when we are actually accessing any data tool inside an Omniscript or cards or templates, right? Okay. So these calculation procedures are nothing but it will we will be using for any kind of complex calculations. We will be using this calculation procedures. Okay, guys. So now after this Omniscripts, I will be discussing something about cards. Okay, cards. So cards are nothing but it provides a 360-degree view of a customer account. So how it is actually how it can actually display. So cards will have a component called data source, where you can actually give a separate data source for each card. So cards are nothing but, I'll just show you. This is the example of cards. You can see something called mobile offer, mobile handset. This is some different handsets for a particular customer. So these cards can be actually placed in your any customer record page or any record pages in your Salesforce. Sorry. So for that particular customer, what is the orders, or what are the, for example, if you see this another slide, in this slide you are seeing something called policies which are there for this particular Smith customer. Okay, so these are actually displayed in different types of cards, and these cards are placed on the customer. So why we call it as a 360-degree view of showing a customer account? Because for a customer, we want to see what are the previous orders, or we want to see what are the recently purchased orders, and what are his contact details. So all these details we can just display in one of the in each of the separate cards, and these cards can be actually placed. So how do you actually place is something, you just edit a page and you can drag and drop the velocity cards. But how do I actually develop a card? Card is nothing but we have to just go to the card designer page, and you have to include initially the data source. in the data source, for example, it is showing you some, for example, in this policy, it is showing this policy holder and the agent name, the term, the total premium. So what is the, for whatever the data source which you are using, it will be automatically giving some output of this all details. So these all fields we have to just include in our designer, in our cards designer page, and automatically when you just preview this, or you can even just include this card in any of the record pages, it will display in the tab, in a kind of a card, in a card mode. And you have two types of cards. One is something, a normal card which uses a layout format, and another card is nothing but when you just click on this particular card, the more details, like additional details, would be displayed in something kind of a pop-up. So this is one of the feature where Vlocity is giving to us. So yeah. Okay, in interaction tools, these are the things, guys. These are the components which are provided by Vlocity. One is Omniscripts. So that is a most important tool which will be using across the application. And cards, as I told you, some few examples where showing the customer, for the customer, the policy details, or any what are the recent purchases, or what are the handsets he's actually using, or his family members are using. And that is all about cards. So cards and flexi cards are like, flexi cards is something where I told you, right, you just click on this particular card, you see a different pop-up of additional details of that particular policy, or it can be a handset details. Okay, then the third one is nothing but templates. Templates are, as I told you, okay, templates are as it is something where I'll just show you. So for the same similar way, you have to, so don't worry about templates. Initially, Vlocity is actually providing some standard templates to us. We can use the standard templates for styling, or we want some background or kind of thing, we can use this already existing Vlocity templates. Otherwise, any template would actually built by any of our UI developers. They can actually write. So as I told you, you'll see some HTML and CSS and JavaScript tabs where you have to write your HTML code and JavaScript, and similarly the CSS over here. Okay, guys, and you will get in every component you see this preview button, like how we get in, if you are anyone of aware of Visual Post Pages, we get this preview. So similarly, we can use this preview button and see how it is actually previewing while developing the page, or an Omniscript, or an data raptor. We can actually use this preview tab in each of the component to actually see the desired output. Okay, guys. Yeah. So yeah, so this is all about in our training sessions, I'll be going through all the I'll be using all this interaction and data tools, and we'll be doing some exercises, and we'll actually discuss some of the order capture and the telecom model, how it is actually there. And yeah, and I will be giving you some tasks as well at the end of the sessions. And yes, so that's all, guys. So I think time is up. We have just 5 minutes left. So any one of you have any doubts, you can just let me know. And yeah, let me show you the contents as well. Yeah. As I told you guys, this is a success community page where you get this 4 items over here. Like one is documentation and the knowledge base. And this Vlocity University is nothing but you can actually practice the various features or various components. You can actually work in your org, and you can place the screenshots over here. Then you can complete modules, and you will be achieving some badges as well. And as I told you, Vlocity is using the process libraries. You can see what are the libraries are available in Vlocity using this process library tab. And any solution you want, you can just type some keywords and you can just search it. So this is something a success community. Okay. Yeah. So this is the contents which we would be providing. So here you can just see the training org and all for 3 months, and the success community also you get access from us. And see, this is the course content, guys. You can also access this URL. I can just place in the chat. You guys can
Suji.
Yeah. So yeah. Carry
Hello.
on. Yeah, carry on.
As part of this course, are we covering the Velocity CMT administration or
I didn't get you. Velocity CMD?
I
No,
mean, a
no.
Velocity administration also, or only?
No. You get the velocity. We will be learning how to actually develop things in velocity. So it's not just admin. You'll get be well versed how to use the components, and you'll be like once you are well aware of all these components after this session, then you can call yourself as a velocity developer as well. So you don't need to write any code for this, as I think you got it out something about admin part or something. So yeah.
I mean,
Carry on.
these are mentioned data adapters and Omniscript. I'm just
Yeah.
looking for administration things like how the platform cache works and
Yes,
the
you'll be getting
all
all
this.
the knowledge, all the knowledge through this sessions. Okay, any other doubts regarding the timings or whatever, you can just contact Kishore. But apart from that, if you can access this URL, you can see the contents which are actually covered in this training sessions. And yeah.
Any prerequisites we need to
As I
before?
told you, it would be easier if you are a Salesforce like an admin, a Salesforce admin. See, for example, there will be some situations where I'll tell you like you have to go to all tabs, and so this is something all tabs, right? This is in classic mode. Similarly, if you go to Lightning, there is something, a button here, right? You get this all access button. So you have to just have this. If we want to show any data of a particular contact or account data, so what we do, so we create or we modify this. So this all navigation part or whatever admin. So you don't need to have this knowledge in all these workflows or whatever features, pre-built features which are giving in Salesforce, but you have to be able to navigate at least in Salesforce. You need to log in and navigate across various objects in Salesforce. That's all I expect. So if you have this knowledge, then it would be much easier for you to start learning velocity. And you guys know, right, this nowadays, like as I told you, this velocity has been like since 6 to 7 years it has been started. But if you see last 3 years, it has been a major in the market. You can, if you are being a velocity developer, you are getting as many opportunities as a normal Salesforce developer. You are getting more opportunities in velocity. And yeah, that is one of the good advantages. And one more thing is, right, the Salesforce has acquired Velocity 1.5 years. So that has been a big thing in news, and so everyone is being now learning this Velocity. So I suggest whoever wants to start the career in Velocity, this is the right time to actually get through the training sessions and learn and get into any of the Velocity project and start working. I think, yeah, it's time up. It's already 10 p.m. So guys, you have any doubts? Okay, someone has mentioned, as you mentioned in Omniscript part, there are some part where HTML or CSS knowledge. No, you don't need to have. So there is not particular or mandatory you need this HTML or CSS knowledge. But I suggest you guys, once you learn all this velocity components which are out of the box components, then you can go with the initial, like the starting stages of how this HTML part is using templates or something. But till you become, like, for example, if you can work for 2 or 3 years without learning all this templates part in velocity, because in most of the cases there will be UI developers in across the project, so they will be handling this, all the coding part for templates, whatever templates. And also, as for velocity team, the suggestible is use only Omniscripts. Don't use any templates, because templates are the ones which will make the responsive time very takes more time. The responsive time will be more. So there are a few projects which got failed and ramped down where they have only used this velocity templates. So they suggest to always use this out of the box components called Omniscripts or cards, the whatever data tools present, where we just do the drag and drop. No need to use any HTML or CSS. Okay. Okay, guys, then let's stop this session, and thanks for joining again. Thanks for joining the session. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, hi everyone. Okay. Some regular batch will be starting from tomorrow onwards. If you want to enroll the regular batches from tomorrow onwards, please contact svtechsoft. Okay. The batch timing will be same only, 9 PM IST onwards. Okay. Thanks everyone.